We're here with Dr. Hal Schramm, who's a professor at Mississippi State University in the Cooperative Research Unit with USGS. So the first question is, how did you become involved in American Fisheries Society, and what made you decide to be a part of the fish management section?
Well, the American Fisheries Society first, Tyler. Went to grad school at Southern Illinois University. Dr. Bill Lewis was my advisor, and Doc was a longtime supporter of the American Fisheries Society. He was president in, I think, 1983. So certainly that exposed me to AFS, opened the door. But really what brought me to AFS was the information. Times were different then. We didn't have the information. We didn't have that much to learn, but it wasn't as nicely consolidated as it is now. I mean, you got fishery techniques, inland fisheries management in North America, standard methods, design and analysis and interpretation of fisheries statistics. We had Ricker's Green Book, and other than that, we just had to root around. So fisheries always was where we got the information. We got a lot of it at meetings. We got a lot of it interacting with other fisheries workers. So for me, AFS has been information. Fisheries management section, that's an easy question. There was no fisheries management section when I graduated. First started in 1981, and I was pretty naive, but I assumed that's where fishery managers gathered. So I joined up to learn what they had to say.
How do you think that being involved with AFS has helped your career?
The same way as what got me involved. Again, it's the information and the knowledge. You know, you can't do it alone. You got to learn from others, and AFS is information.
Mm-hmm. The third question we've got is, did you mentor? Did you have a mentor or individuals who greatly influenced your career? I'm sure there was many.
Absolutely, and many. Certainly, Dr. Lewis, Dr. Roy Heidinger were good mentors when I was in grad school, but I was so naive. I'd look up to anybody that could even spell the word fish. Initially, my mentors were my fellow graduate students. We had a lot of communications in the lab and got together all the time. We always talked fish. A couple that stand out: Ron Dent, lifetime career with Missouri Department of Conservation; Jerry Bynack, career with Kentucky Wildlife and Fisheries. But then I fledged, and I moved on, and so many people, anybody that was working with fish, warm water, freshwater fishes, that was managing fish, they taught me a lot. I wanted to be like them, and then as things moved on, just so many people have influenced me, and people in the fisheries management section. I think this is about the Hall of Excellence thing. I can look down that list. I'm proud to say that I personally know most of them. I'm embarrassed to say I don't know all of them. But every one of those people, one way or another, has influenced me, and so many others that haven't been recognized either.
Right.
It's what's marvelous about fisheries. We interact. We learn from one another. Mm-hmm. I got to give them all thanks for being my mentor.
Right. It sure is. Fisheries is a small world anyway.
It is, ain't it great?
Yeah. Just coming up through school and just growing up, I guess, did you ever consider having a different career path outside of fisheries?
Oh, if we go back a ways, yeah. I didn't start out in biology. When I went to college, I was going to make a lot of money as an engineer, and solve a lot of problems. But even as a young kid, biology was kind of always the calling, and I rethought things, got involved in biology, and never deviated.
Right.
Why would I?
When was the moment, I guess, that you knew fisheries, this is what I want to do?
When I was in grad school, I headed down to Southern Illinois University. I wanted to be in aquatic ecology, and started out in limnology, got some exposure, met some of the guys in fisheries, took a fisheries management class, and one day out shocking a little pond on a golf course in Dr. Heidinger's fishery management class, it was just like, that's it.
Right. How do you think AFS can help prepare our profession for the challenges that lay ahead of us as fish managers?
Well, I can give you some opinion, Tyler. The world's changing. You know, I went to grad school in the 70s, the eco-freak era, and there was a big environmental movement. You know, we were really concerned. We had some problems. You know, at the time, we didn't have an environmental protection agency. We had rivers on fire, and we had polluted water everywhere. Our environment was being usurped. The population was growing exponentially. We thought differently then. We've lost that inertia. We still have good protection for our resources. We live in a wonderful country. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. But even with the protection that we've got in North America, Environmental Protection Agency, Fish and Wildlife Service looking out for habitat, whole bunch of different agencies at the state and federal level, where our natural resources are deteriorating to the point. And how do we change that? That's going to be the will of the people, and I don't think the political will is there. AFS is doing its part, but it's such a small voice, and this is really a bold statement, and again, it's my opinion, but until we can hitch all those forces together, till we can amalgamate our knowledge and our interests and our concerns, it's still going to be politics trumping biology. I think AFS and the Wildlife Society coming together in the same building, we've got a joint meeting in a couple of years. That's going to be a step forward. How they can bring all these forces together, that's far above my grade level.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when we all know what we stand for, we just need to coalesce those forces.
Yeah, I agree. Couldn't agree more. What does being inducted into the Hall of Excellence for the Fish Management section, what does that mean to you?
Well, first it means that I've got some very dear colleagues that nominated me and a bunch of past presidents that supported the nomination. But personally and seriously, it means that I've risen to the level of my mentors. I'm honored.
I guess going along those same lines is kind of rising up to the level. What do you think is your greatest contribution to fisheries?
Well, that's assuming I've made one. Many years ago, I was a young faculty person at the University of Florida, and a young fellow by the name of Jeff Dorsbacher applied to grad school, wanted to do a PhD. And crappie were a big issue in Florida, and we needed to know something about the growth of those fish. We couldn't age fish in Florida. Scales didn't work. And Jeff was bright, interested, rooted around. He came up with, we could age crappie with otoliths. And we validated that, and we've been cracking skulls ever since. So I guess you could say, thanks to Jeff Dorsbacher, and it's Jeff, not Hal Schramm, we've pretty much revolutionized aging fish. Of late, things have changed. If I had to identify something that I'm doing now that I hope is making a difference, it's maybe bringing the right people together to synthesize data into information, and more importantly, synthesize information into knowledge. Again, it's not me, it's the people I'm working with. But maybe my calling is just to facilitate those agreements that are
Right.
coming together, collaboration.
What words of wisdom do you have to share with any grad students or undergrads or young professionals?
Well, for grad students, and you were one of our grad students, Tyler, it's a fast track through fertile ground. Seize every opportunity you can. You're around people that have accumulated some of that knowledge, have put it into place, they can prioritize it. Mind their minds while you've got the opportunity. You know, you're in the presence of a great place to learn and some people to guide the learning. For undergrads, well, certainly work hard. It's a competitive field. Grad school is usually required for most people. So again, you know, seize the opportunities, especially those seize the opportunities, do well in your classes, but seize the opportunities to learn. Every time you get a chance to go out with another grad student, to work with people, to get different exposures, certainly take those opportunities. As you move into the profession, get involved. Don't just become a member of it, certainly become a member of AFS, but don't just be a member. Go to meetings, and don't just attend, participate, get involved. And maybe a thought, maybe it's a personal thought, but for all young professionals, you're starting a career. It's a trajectory. I always I mentioned how many people I looked up to, and everybody that did fish management I looked up to. The profession is filled with highly qualified candidates for recognition like I've been fortunate to receive. What there's a shortage of is people to nominate these people. You're young, you're looking up, you're seeing, well, this person published that, they gave a talk on whatever. Meet those people and learn who they are. Deviously get a hold of their curriculum vitae. How did they get where they are? And then nominate them for an award. Mm-hmm. If you do that, first off, a lot of my colleagues are going to get the recognition they deserve. But what the young people are going to get is not only knowledge of what they did, but you're going to know how they went, the path they went to accomplish the things they accomplished. And you know what? That's your path.
Right, right. That's rich.
I mean it. I'm serious about it.
I guess moving to a different segment, I guess, as far as other inductees into the Hall of Excellence, which fellow inductees now influenced you the most, and how did they do that?
I really can't identify one. They're all accomplished, and for various reasons. We're now bringing people into the Hall of Excellence that it's not just specifically maybe what they did with fish, but what they did with the whole fisheries management arena. Gordon Robertson was inducted the same time I was, and I've known Gordon for a long time. I know what he's done behind the scenes, and it's tremendously significant. Just every one of those people have influenced me one way or another. Mm-hmm. Some very directly, some very indirectly.
Yeah, that's, unless you've got anything else that you'd like to say about the Hall of Excellence or the fish management section in general.
It's maybe just reiterate a few things. Certainly the sections, AFS is what people that are in fisheries are. You want to be in fisheries, you got it good. There's one agency, one organization that represents you, that will lead you to the next level. So be a player. A beautiful thing about AFS is that as it's grown, as the needs and the concerns have grown, the sections, fisheries management section and other sections, bring together people of like minds. They allow you to focus better. They allow you a better return on your investment. I'm proud to have been part of fisheries management section for a couple of years. I was able to lead the fisheries management section. That was a big honor to me. To young people, I'm going to reiterate what I said before. Look at some of these people that are maybe 1 rung, 2 rungs, 3 rungs of the ladder above you, and find out how they got there. Research it. Share in recognizing your respect for them, and know it or not, you'll advance your own career.
Right.
We certainly need some leaders in the future.
Right. Well, with that, we sure appreciate your time to do this and appreciate all your contributions. So on behalf of the Fisheries Management Section, we thank you and congratulations on your Hall Excellence induction.
Thank you, Tyler. It's a good day.